Locke's liberalism places great emphasis on property rights and on the significance of consent. In Locke's view, consent does an enormous amount of moral work. There's great power in the act of consenting, in the voluntary contractual agreement to something. And so, principally, in the creation of the state itself. Individuals create a state as a kind of social contract to which they consent. Now, there's some kind of tension between property rights and consent, especially because what constitutes consent is difficult to know. What does it mean to consent to live in a society? And so think of this tension. In a particularly radical form of Lockean liberalism, you can say that you own yourself, you own your labor, and you own the fruits of your labor. And yet, in our society, as in every other, a public entity, the state, will confiscate a certain part of your earnings, a certain part of your labor. And in fact, in some societies, it's an enormous part of your labor. How do we balance consent with taxation? Does the act of consenting to live in a society justify the takings of taxation? And what is it that marks an act of consent? Have you consented to live in the United States? And if so, does that make it just for the state to take your property? What would Locke say?